Imagine a civilization so advanced they could navigate thousands of miles of treacherous ocean using nothing more than the stars, sun, and an ingenious understanding of maritime engineering. The Vikings weren't just raiders. They were the world's first global explorers, transforming maritime technology in ways that would reshape human history forever. Chapter 1. Engineering Marvels on Water. The Viking longship wasn't just a boat. It was a technological revolution that would challenge everything we thought we knew about medieval maritime capabilities. Crafted from oak with extraordinary precision, these vessels represented the pinnacle of naval engineering for their time. Measuring between 17 to 37 meters, they could slice through waves with remarkable speed and agility that would make modern sailors marvel. Let's break down the engineering genius behind these incredible ships. Hull design. Unlike other shipbuilding techniques of their era, Vikings developed a unique construction method called clinker, or lapstrake building. This involved overlapping wooden planks, creating a flexible hull that could literally bend without breaking. Imagine a ship that could absorb the punishing waves of the North Atlantic without shattering. That was the Viking longship. Materials matter. They didn't just choose any wood. Skilled craftsmen carefully selected oak for its strength and flexibility. Each plank was meticulously shaped and fitted, creating a vessel that was both lightweight and incredibly robust. The wood was often split rather than sawn, following the natural grain and maintaining the timber's inherent strength. Technological innovations, flexible wooden hull design that could bend without breaking, shallow draft allowing navigation in rivers and coastal waters, lightweight construction enabling both sailing and rowing, advanced sail technology using wool and leather treated with animal fat. Propulsion mastery. Viking ships were hybrid machines. They weren't limited to just sailing or just rowing, they could do both. With 32 to 64 oars and a sophisticated sail system, these ships could move with incredible versatility. In calm waters, rowers would power the vessel. When wind conditions were favorable, massive wool and leather sails would catch the breeze, propelling them at speeds up to 10 to 15 knots. Chapter 2. Navigation, a scientific approach to exploration. Viking navigation was nothing short of revolutionary. While other civilizations hugged coastlines, Vikings developed techniques to cross open oceans with stunning accuracy that would challenge modern navigation methods. Their navigation toolkit was a complex system of observation, mathematical understanding, and environmental reading. Celestial navigation. Long before modern GPS, Vikings used the sun as their primary navigation tool. They developed a unique sun compass, a wooden disc with a raised center pin that would cast a shadow. By carefully tracking this shadow's movement, they could determine their latitude and direction with remarkable precision. Natural environment reading. Vikings weren't just looking at the sky, they were reading the entire environment. They understood bird migration patterns, ocean current behaviors, wave formation characteristics, cloud formations, marine wildlife movements. Some historians believe they might have used early forms of rudimentary astrolabes, though direct archaeological evidence remains limited. They could estimate their position by observing the height of the sun above the horizon and comparing it to known reference points. Chapter 3. Trade routes and global connections. Contrary to popular belief, Vikings were more sophisticated merchants than simple raiders. Their exploration wasn't about mindless conquest. It was a calculated expansion of economic and cultural influence that would lay the groundwork for future global trade networks. Major trade routes unveiled. The Volga trade route, connecting Scandinavia to Baghdad. This route allowed Vikings, known as Rus, to trade directly with the Islamic world. Silk Road connections. Through Russian territories, they established intricate trade networks reaching as far as China. North Atlantic exploration. Reaching modern-day Canada, they were the first Europeans to establish settlements in North America. European river systems. Utilizing extensive river networks, they created inland trade routes that penetrated deep into continental Europe. What they traded differ from Nordic and Siberian regions. high-quality amber, enslaved people, a dark but economically significant aspect of their trade, weapons and metalwork, honey and wax, timber, exotic goods from distant lands. Economic impact. These trade routes weren't just about moving goods. They were cultural exchange highways that spread technologies, ideas, and innovations across continents. Chapter 4. Warfare. The strategic innovators of combat Viking warfare was far more than brutal raids. It was a sophisticated system of military strategy that revolutionized medieval combat. Their approach to warfare was as innovative as their maritime technologies, blending tactical intelligence with technological superiority. Military technology breakthroughs. The Viking arsenal was a testament to their engineering prowess. Unlike other medieval armies, Vikings developed weapons and armor that were both lightweight and incredibly effective. Their swords weren't just weapons, they were precision-engineered tools of combat. Weapon innovation. Pattern-welded steel swords that were both flexible and razor-sharp. Lightweight shields made from wood and leather, designed for mobility. Advanced axe designs that could penetrate armor while remaining balanced. Specialized throwing spears that maximized range and accuracy. Strategic mobility. Their military strength was deeply connected to their maritime technology. While other armies were limited by terrain, Vikings could launch surprise attacks from rivers and coastlines, rapidly deploy troops across vast distances, retreat quickly using their superior ship designs, carry out complex multi-location military campaigns. Tactical intelligence. Viking warfare wasn't about brute force, it was about strategic thinking. They developed advanced reconnaissance techniques, used psychological warfare to intimidate enemies, created complex battle formations that maximized their strengths, adapted quickly to different fighting environments, beyond raiding a misunderstood military culture. Contrary to popular belief, Viking military campaigns were often more strategic than random. They targeted specific economic and political centers, established control over key trade routes, used military might to create complex political alliances, developed sophisticated diplomatic strategies alongside military campaigns. The Viking military was a professional, organized force that understood the power of technology, strategy, and psychological warfare. Their military innovations would influence European combat techniques for centuries to come. Chapter 5. Technological adaptation and cultural evolution. What truly set Vikings apart was their remarkable ability to adapt and integrate technologies from cultures they encountered. They weren't just conquerors. They were sophisticated learners who recognized and adopted the best practices from different civilizations. When Vikings settled in new territories like Normandy, they didn't just impose their own systems. They learned, merged, and created entirely new cultural and technological frameworks. Their settlements in England, Ireland, and parts of France demonstrated an incredible capacity for cultural assimilation. But here's the mind-blowing question. If Vikings were so technologically advanced, why did their civilization ultimately fade? What secrets of survival and innovation died with their last great explorers? The Viking Twilight: How Technological Success Led to Cultural Transformation. The downfall of Viking civilization wasn't a sudden collapse, but a complex process of adaptation, integration, and gradual cultural metamorphosis. Their decline wasn't a failure, it was an extraordinary transformation. Key factors of decline. 1. Christianization and cultural shift. The arrival of Christianity fundamentally altered Viking social structures. Their traditional Norse religious practices and warrior culture were gradually replaced by a more centralized, hierarchical Christian system. This wasn't just a religious change, but a complete social reorganization that reduced the importance of individual warrior status, created more structured political institutions, diminished the economic power of traditional Viking leadership models. 2. Technological paradox. Ironically, the Vikings' greatest strength became their ultimate limitation. Their advanced maritime and trading technologies made them exceptional integrators rather than isolated conquerors. By spreading their innovations, they effectively designed their own obsolescence. What happened was remarkable. Viking technologies and cultural practices were so advanced that they were rapidly adopted by other European societies. Their shipbuilding techniques, trade networks, and military strategies were copied and improved upon by emerging kingdoms. Third, economic transformation. The Viking trade networks they had so meticulously built began to work against them. As other European powers learned their trade secrets and established their own routes, the Vikings lost their economic monopoly. Their once unique advantages became standardized across Europe. Fourth, political consolidation. Emerging European kingdoms like Denmark, Norway, and Sweden started developing more centralized governments. The decentralized, adventurous Viking model of exploration and raiding became less viable in a world of emerging nation-states. 5. Climate and agricultural changes. Environmental shifts played a crucial role. The medieval warm period that had supported Viking expansion began to cool. This affected agricultural productivity, navigation conditions, settlement possibilities in marginal territories, the final metamorphosis. Rather than disappearing, Vikings transformed. They became the founders of new kingdoms, integrated into European royal bloodlines, and their descendants would go on to shape medieval and modern European history. The Viking Age didn't end, it evolved. Their legacy wasn't in maintaining a static civilization, but in their ability to adapt, integrate, and ultimately reshape the entire medieval world. The Vikings didn't fade away. They became something entirely new, the architects of modern European civilization,